invaders 5, we're going to learn how to move the invaders left and right and down all at the same time when one invader hits the edge of the world. Okay, to hit pause and read through this. This is what we're doing. Okay, so let me show you, let me get back up here real quick. So let me just show you what we're doing. All right, so here is the project. And I hit run. I want you to notice a couple things. Number one, they all move together when they hit the edge of the world. They move down and they switch direction at the same time. When they do, they speed up, their shooting speeds up, and my cannon shooting speeds up. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. So let's take a look back at the spiel here and see what we say. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to create an array of invaders, okay? And so it's going to start, we're going to use this code right here. Don't type it in yet, I'll show you in a second. We're going to type this code in here, and then you're going to end up making 66 empty boxes. I don't show all 66, that's too many, but we're going to have 66 empty boxes that will eventually hold all of our invaders, okay? And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to use this code, right? And what it's going to actually take all the invaders, and when it sticks them into the world, okay, so you'll plop that invader into the world, but you'll also plop that invader into the array. So all the invaders are in the array, and so what we can do is we can say, hey, we'll use a loop and say, hey, I want, as soon as any of the invaders hits the edge of the world, then we'll get some code that says, hey, I want you to switch direction and move down. I want you to switch directions and move down. I want you to switch directions and move down. And I want you to switch directions and move down, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's take a look at that code inside space. That's going to do that. All right, it's going to look a little something like this. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to create your array. Okay, so there it is, private invader. So this is in space. This is up at the very top where we're creating our instance variables and our arrays. Private invader, numerator 66. If you want to do this, you can. That's how I got that theme song to work. Okay, now here's what you're going to have to do later on. Down here, you're going to have to modify your loops. Okay, so we have our loops to add the squids. And so notice what I did. I said invader array I equals invader. So I'm taking this invader that we just made and I'm throwing it into my invader array. So I'm throwing it into my invader array. Okay, now look, we're doing it again. Notice I have to say plus 11 because this is going to go do 0 through 10. This is going to do 11 through 22. Okay, and so this one is going to do 20 through 22 on, 33 on, so forth. So we've added this to our arrays to get our invaders in. Now you don't have to do the same number of invaders as I have. Okay, so basically what we've done is we created this array and we modified our loop by adding this code to our loops that added all of these guys to it. All right, so now the next thing is this. Let's take a look at, well, let's see what's next. So do that and hit pause and then keep going. All right, so we need the invaders to move back and forth. So the reason that we did that is so that we could get the invaders to move back and forth. All right, so the first thing we need to do is let's modify. We're going to have to modify the invader a little bit. So let's take a look at the invader. Okay, so in the invader, you're going to have some code that looks a little bit like, let's look at our act method. Okay, so move, switch image, turn at edge, random fire, look for can. I think turn at edge is what I modified. Okay, so first of all, well, this is good. This is what wasn't what I was ready for yet. You can copy this down. So turn at edge is going to look like this. If in world, if at the world edge, space equals space get world. So we're getting space in a box called space so that we can talk to him, and we're going to say, hey, space, I want you to switch the invader direction. Okay. All right, so you can copy that down yet. That might not make sense yet. We're going to come back to that, but keep looking. All right, so we have switch direction. All right, public void switch direction speed equals speed times -1. I think you already had that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that should be what we need. Now let's go back, hit pause and get that, and let's go back to space and see how we're going to use this. So if we're going to say space dot switch direction, we need to go to space and make a dot switch direction. So let's go to space. So we're back in space. Okay, and we have dot switch direction. Okay, so I put a little delay in here. So I made a instance variable called counter and one called delay. Delay, I can't remember what delay is. I guess we'll look. What did we make it equal to? Okay, so we have counter is 10, delay is 30. Okay, so just because I was having trouble, and so that kept it from kind of doing it when I wasn't supposed to. All right. So for int I equals 0, so we're using a for loop here, which is a modified version of a while loop, and I'm gonna hopefully I have discussed with you what that is. If I haven't discussed what a for loop is, hit pause and ask me to do it. I'll do it in class. Int I equals 0, I is less than invader array thing, I plus plus. So basically we're having a loop that goes through our entire invader array, so all 66 of our invaders. Okay, so if invader array I dot in world equals true. Okay, so this is only working on invaders that are in the world. So if you've killed an invader, um, then you should set its in world to not true. Okay, so we don't want to try to move invaders that aren't in the world anymore. Okay, now look at this, invader array I dot switch direction. So let me basically what this is doing is something like this. Let me go back here. Okay, so let's say I is 0, we're saying, hey, I want you to switch direction. And then the next time through the loop, the I is 1, I want you to switch directions. Okay, so we're going through our invader array and asking every invader that's still in the world to switch directions. The switch direction is the code that's in the invader. So the invader knows how to switch directions. And so we have invader array I dot move down. Okay, so if you don't have a move down method in invader, then you need to make one. Okay, and then if invader array I dot gun reload counter is less than 100, you can skip this if you want. Okay, but this is basically how to, for now. But anyway, this is how you make the invader speed up his shooting. So basically, you can play with this, see if you can get it to work or not. Okay, and then I did this as well. Every time one of the invaders hits the edge, it asks space to do this, and then also I'm talking to cannon, and I'm speeding up the cannon. Okay? All right, so let's kind of figure out how this works real quick in general. So let's go to, okay, so basically what happens as soon as, so like if we're hitting play, we hit run. Okay, as soon as one of these guys hits the edge of the world, okay, what's going to happen is we're going to go to invader. Okay, so as soon as one of these guys hits the edge of the world, we're going to say, hey, if you're turn at edge, if you're at the edge of the world, so as soon as one of the guys gets to the edge of the world, he says, hey, space, and put space in the box and say, hey, space, switch direction. And so then space talks to all these guys and says, hey, I want all of you guys to switch direction. You switch direction, you switch direction, you switch direction. So then every invader goes down to their switch direction. They say speed equals speed times -1, and they all switch direction. Okay, that's how it works. All right, let's keep going and see if there's anything else I need to teach you here from the spiel. Okay, here's how it works. Kind of just told you all that, but at any rate, one invader hits the edge. It tells the world to do its space switch direction method. Okay, so the space switch direction method uses a loop and talks to all of the invaders in array and asks them to do their dot switch direction method, and then tells them to do their dot move down method. Answer these questions real quick. Hit pause and answer those. And all right, that's it. I want to show you one more thing. Let's go into invader. Okay, and if you don't have the move down method, I guess I should probably show you this. Is there a move? There's got to be a move down. Yeah, so the move down, public void move down. If in world set location get it, you know, something simple like that. You can adjust that number how you want. All right, that is good for that.